Greetings, friends, on this late, chilly November day in Concord, Massachusetts, the United States, atop Nashottuck Hill at Willard Common. This has to do with our fundraising appeal. Willard Common, I will turn this around so you can see, is surrounded by three estates. We have a vision. We have a vision for these estates, and that vision has been united with by a minimum of 138 million young people, Concordians, Minutemen and women from around the world, through the two in-video games, Fallout and Assassin's Creed. That is, once again, a minimum of 138 million young people have responded to the call to arms, hearts, and minds through these in-video games, Assassin's Creed and Fallout, where after the dark, dark days, the apocalypse, civilization is built anew in Concord, Massachusetts. Concord was our nation's first non-native inland community. Before that, its name was Mesquitequit, and it was a home of the spirited praying Indians. After its founding, Concord's founding, it became the crucible for the American Revolution, and later the home of some of our most prophetic voices, Emerson, Thoreau, Nathaniel Hawthorne, and Sophia, his wife, the Alcotts, including Louisa May, and the good Father Bronson and Mother Abigail. And then I would say America's Joan of Arc, Margaret Fuller. And on. The torch was passed on. Concord has fired not one shot heard round the world, which we know with respect to the American Revolution, but in fact 6. And we're hoping to ignite a 7th with this appeal, with this initiative, to establish the first World Covenant landmark, not World Historic Site, which under UNESCO and the United Nations designates significant historic sites, but this is a landmark whose purpose is to renew the covenant. However, people can imagine that and understand it being the covenant between the boat people, the settlers, and the native peoples that were broken, be it the covenant with those African Americans who, through their unearned suffering and Dr. King's words, brought a redemptive impulse to this land, be it the covenant between the heavens and the earth. Here at Willard Common, atop what Thoreau referred to as his invisible mountain, we look forward to continuing with the work of the Center for American Studies at Concord, of which I'm the founder. We are in our 50th, approaching our 50th year. In the first years, we brought over 500 international leaders from 68 nations to our programs, back home to Concord, America's hometown, many say. And here at Willard Common, atop Nashottuck Hill, Nashottuck meaning the hill between the two rivers, during one of the bloodiest wars in our history, little known, the King Philip's War. King Philip's other name was Metacon, and the native peoples had enough, not of the pilgrims, but the puritanical Puritans who were encroaching upon their lands, and so war broke out. And legend has it that from this hilltop, Metacom, King Philip, or one of his chiefs, looked down over the village of Concord and said, "We will not bring war into this village. The Great Spirit loves it." So we have a calling here, friends, and we invite you, as the Spirit moves you, to lend a hand. We invite the 138 million young people around the world to contribute a whopping $1 or more as the Spirit moves you, not to carry on your work virtually, that is through in-video games, but actually here in this common with these 3 estates, where we look forward to reestablishing the village well, around which in days gone by, miracles were performed. We have filters that offer some of the finest water on earth, the creation of new grains, Concord grapes, beehives, honey. This would be a refuge for young people who've been trafficked, or immigrants, orphans, young people from Concord itself, a prosperous community who haven't found their way, where they could find their way, discover their calling, and unite with this work. We'll be introducing the Concord Nobel Award for Peace, that I think is destined to eclipse the Nobel Peace Prize, because it addresses the fundamental prerequisites for peace and has behind it not just a single industrialist who made his fortunes, Mr. Nobel, in dynamite and armaments, but an entire community inspired by the words of Henry David Thoreau. That is the uncommon school we want. Instead of noblemen, let us have noble villages of men and women. We'll be working with many, many innovations for our time, how to address the unemployment issue, how to get our house back in order through the Concord Resolution, raise our infrastructure, fund roads, bridges, schools, sewage systems at cost. There will be concert series, there'll be storytelling, there'll be writing workshops. There'll be many, many offerings as we look forward to picking up on the spirit and the engagement of the millions of young people, modern day men and women, who have sought to keep alive the holy flame of the heart and to work together to create a future worth envisioning for our children, grandchildren, and the generations to come. A warm welcome to lend a hand to join this work. Greetings, as mentioned, from Willard Common atop Neshawtuck Hill in Concord, Massachusetts, the United States of America, the home of the Praying Indians, the first non-native inland community, the crucible of the American Revolution, and home of some of America's most prophetic voices, as we look then to ignite a 7th shot heard around the world. Thank you for your consideration. Stuart Sinclair Weeks, founder of the Center for American Studies, All American Studies at Concord.